You are welcome to Lifestyle Hacks and Etiquette with Governor. And I believe so well that there comes a time in our life where you have to go for a wedding event, a funeral, a dining event, a banqueting event, or even a special date, and you have to go and use cutlery, crockery, and then glasses to dine or to eat for that day. So today we are just going to treat a very simple topic whereby we are going to talk about basic dining etiquette. This has to do with the cutlery that you are going to use to eat, and then the plates, the glasses that you are going to use to dine. So make sure you like, you comment, and you subscribe to our channel. Charlie, make me go. Should I come here or should I go here? Charlie, make a sit here. So you're welcome back to Lifestyle Hacks and Etiquette with Governor. And then today, this is a basic dining setting. Anywhere you find yourself, you go out to a restaurant, you go out to a fine dining restaurant, you go out to a banqueting event, a business date, anywhere you find yourself, mostly you're going to find this basic dining setting everywhere. So anytime you get there, don't be disturbed. Don't think too much on what to do or what not to do. Before we start, I'm going to share 3 simple tips on how and what cutlery to use. So the first tip that I want to share with all of us is that always remember these 2 alphabets, B and then D. B stands for the bread. So just do your hand like this, your left hand, B, and then do your right hand like this, D. So the B is for the bread, and then the D is for the drink. So anywhere you find yourself and there is this kind of setting, always know that the bread, which is the B on your left, is always here, which is in this. And then the drink, which is for your D, is always here. That's how come you find all the drinking glasses here. So you should know that all the utensils, or let's say all the eating equipment that are here, the B is always on your left, and then the D, which is for the drink, is always on your right. So don't go and pick anybody's thing on the other lane. And then the second tip that I want to share with all of us is that your fork is always on your left. So you can see from the video, you can see in the camera that this is my fork and it's on my left. So my forks are always on my left, and then the knives are on the right. So you can see that the knife is on the right. This is the second tip. Tip 2 is that the fork is on the left, the knife is on the right. And then the third tip is that always know that on a buffet or on a fine dining setting, when you are eating a buffet or you are eating, let's say, a basic course meal, like a 3-course meal, know that you are going to eat from outside to inside. What I mean from outside to inside is that the things that you are going to use or the utensils that you are going to use, you are going to use them from outside. So you have your knife. You are going to start with the starter. So this knife, basically, you use it for the starter. Further in the video, I'm going to mention all the equipment or all the utensils, and then they are used. So your fork is your starter. You are going to eat from outside, and maybe when you are taking a soup, you are going to use the soup spoon for it. So you eat from outside. So assuming I'm done eating this and this, then the next thing I'm going to take is this and this. That's how come I'm saying that you are going to eat from outside to inside. So I'm bringing back the cutlery. You are going to eat from outside to inside. So let's not forget these 3 tips. That is what we are starting with. The first tip is always remember that your B is your bread, your drink is on your right, but then your bread is on your left. And then the second thing is that your fork is always on your left, and then your knife is always on your right. The third thing is that eating on a buffet, you are going to eat using utensils from outside to inside. It means all the utensils that are outside are the ones you start with, then you move towards inside. So let's not forget these 3 simple tips. This is what will guide you everywhere you find yourself. everywhere you go, depending on the course of meal that is served. If you are going to start from the starter to the main course to the dessert, and maybe you want to add some other things. So I'm going to run us all through the name of each cutlery, the name of each plate, and then their usage or what we are going to use them for. The first thing that I want to talk about is this crockery here, this very round one. It's very small in size and it's always going to be on your right. So you can see it, this very round crockery. It's called a side plate. So the side plate is always going to be on your right hand side. What the side plate or the use of the side plate is that any meal that you are having and they are left with crumbs, or let's say it is bony, the meal is bony, or there is some leftover, there is something you want to leave off, you can drop it here. So maybe you have taken your butter out of its leaf or out of its container, you want to place it somewhere. Place it on the side plate. You are having your meal and then there is something in the meal that maybe you are not comfortable eating and you want to get rid of it. Just get rid of it onto your side plate. So you realize that a lot of people go to restaurants, they are eating their meal and you realize they take something out of the meal that they are not comfortable with and then they place that thing on the table. Just make sure that anytime you go to a restaurant, you are even having meals in your house, always make side plate available so that when you're eating something and the thing is bony and you want to take off that bone, just place it on the side plate. So don't forget, the use of the side plate is to take care of your trash. That's just the simple meaning of it. To take care of your trash. That's the simple meaning of the side plate. Then I'm going to talk about the first thing. So assuming it's a 3-course meal and there is a starter, a main course, and a dessert. And then, of course, there is some drink for me to have. But then I want to start my course with a starter, which is the soup. I'm going to start with my soup bowl. I'll need a bowl to have the soup in it, and I'll also need a soup spoon to have the soup with. So I'm going to have my soup with this very cute bowl here. It's very small in nature, but then you can use this very bowl as your starter soup bowl or your starter bowl. You use it for your soup. So you want to have some creamy soup, you want to have some onion soup, you want to have some fish light soup as your starter. You can have this bowl for it, and then you will use the soup spoon to have that. So this is a soup spoon, the name is soup spoon, and then you are going to use it to have your soup with it. So you have this and this as your starter. So I'm done with it. Don't forget, tip 3 that I shared is that you start from outside. So I'm having my course, or I'm starting my course with the soup. That is how come I pick this from outside and I'm done with my soup. So let's assume I'm done having my soup. Then I'll place this somewhere. Then you'll come and take it off for the waiters and waitresses around to come and clean. Then I also want to have a salad. Now, I want to have a Ghanaian mixed salad, a green salad, any kind of nice salad, or a 6-layer salad. And I'm thinking of what cutlery to use and what plate to use. Don't think too much. This very cutlery here. Now, there are 2 cutleries here. When I'm talking about the fork, there is a big fork and then the small one. I'm using the term big and then the small. This is the big and then the small. When I face it to the camera, you realize one is taller than the other. So this is the big and then the small. I am using the small one as my salad fork or my starter fork because I want to have salad. So I'm going to use this fork for that. Now, I'll also need a knife to assist with it. So the knife here, we also have a big knife and a small knife. I'm going to use the small one. Don't forget, tip 3, it says that you eat from outside to inside. So when I pick what is on the left, which is my small fork, and I pick what is on the right, which is the small knife, that is what I'm going to use to have my starter or my salads with. So I'll also need a plate to eat the salads in. So don't forget, I'm going to use the starter plate. Now, the starter plate is not as big as the main plate you are going to have your main dish with. This is the size of the starter plate. It is between the side plate and then the main course plate, so, or the dinner plate. So this is the starter plate. It's quite smaller than it's smaller in size to the dinner plate, which is the main dinner plate. So this is the size of the starter plate. So this is where you are going to have your salad with. your fork and then your small knife, or your starter fork and your starter knife together with your starter plate. So assuming I'm done with this, then this is going to be placed somewhere else. Then now, I want to have my main meal or my main course. The main course, I'm going to use my dinner fork and then my dinner knife, or the main fork and then the main knife. This is bigger in size than the one I used earlier, and you will need a plate to eat that with. So you will need your dining or your dinner plate or your main plate, which is this. You realize that this is quite big in size than the starter plate. This is it. It's quite big in size than the starter plate. So you need your main dinner plate. Now, someone will ask, why am I talking about all these things? You go out to a restaurant and you want to go and eat a meal. You realize that some people even go to the extent of picking a side plate to go on a buffet to go and eat with. Someone might see you and realize that no, you are doing the wrong thing, and it might become embarrassing to you. So I think it is very necessary you know all these things. So you are eating your main course and then you are going to use this for it. So assuming I'm done with it, I'll place this elsewhere. Now, you might be wondering what this plate here is doing. Don't forget, from tip 1, we said our B stands for the bread. So the bread is here, and the bread has so many uses. You want to take a soup, a starter soup. You will take that starter soup with bread. You want to take a salad. You will take that salad with bread. So this plate here is a bread plate with this very nice instrument here, like a spade or a shovel. This very nice instrument, or this utensil here, is like a spade or a shovel. The name of this is the butter or the spread knife, or the bread knife, or the butter knife. So you are going to use this for your butter. This is an example or a sample of a butter. So assuming I have a bread here, a bread roll here, I'm going to use this to do my spread, whilst I use the starter fork or the starter knife. I use the starter knife to cut the bread, and I'll use this to do the spread into the bread. So this is a bread plate with a butter knife or a spread knife to help me to spread my butter onto my bread. Then, whilst I'm done with the main course, which is the starter, the main course, I would love to eat some desserts to help me digest the meal properly. Then these two instruments come to play. So this is where these two instruments or these two utensils come to play. The first one here is my fork, and the second one here is the spoon. This fork is also smaller in size as compared to the dinner fork. So this fork, you can use it to have your dessert. Let's say you want to have a cake for your dessert, you use this very fork for your dessert. And maybe you want to have an ice cream for your dessert. The spoon is here to serve for that purpose. So the use of these two equipment or these two utensils is, one serves as a purpose for eating cake, and then the other you can use it to eat your ice cream. It's mainly for your dessert, and it's usually placed in front of the table. Now, there is also a serviette in front of me. This serviette has an etiquette, so don't forget to check out the etiquette video that we are going to do on serviette or the use of napkin. The napkin also has a use, so we are going to do a video on that one too, so don't forget to check that one out. And then the glasses here in front of me also have uses. So this glass has a use, the next one has a use, and then the third one equally has a use. We are going to do an extensive video on the uses of glasses and then the different types of glasses that you can find on a buffet. There is these two sets in front of me. This is what we call the cruet set. This is your salt and your pepper. So you are eating your food and it's not too spicy for you. You will need something pepperish in it. This is here to help you. And then this other one here is also your salt to help you add some more taste to your dish. So in all, this is a basic dining setting, and these are the uses of the following dining settings. Don't forget the tips we shared. Tip 1 is your B and your D. Tip 2 is that you eat, your fork is always on your left, your knife is always on your right. And then tip 3, you eat from outside to inside. Don't forget to check other videos on napkin etiquette and then the other video on glass etiquette. Don't forget to like our channel, comment, and then subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Peace!